Good morning, everybody. Happy Sunday. I've been out doing a little bit of yard work and garden work, just getting the garden prepared for this year's bounty. We're going to be planting, or I'm going to be planting a whole lot of fun stuff. I have my seeds ready to go, so I'm going to start planting today outdoors. Some of my cold, hardy veggies can go out. And I also have some starts that I started indoors, like tomatoes and peppers and gooseberries and fun things like that. But I wanted to show you, first of all, what my garden looks like at the very beginning of the season. Does not look very good. I still have to clean up some of last season's stalks. Like I've got some sunflower stalks here that I need to take out, and some of the old tomato plants from last year I just need to pull up and throw into the compost. So I'm going to be doing that today before I plant. But yesterday I cleaned up just a little bit. I started a little compost pile right here just for my garden waste. And I'm just down in the north side of my yard. This is our northern corner. There's just an old area where they used to keep goats down here. And it's just a big field here. The big dead tree that fell, we still have to cut up and remove from the yard. The plan is to dig a pond right here in this spot. So when we finally get it together, we're going to dig a pond right here for our geese, because it collects a lot of water. The water table is really high here, and it runs, a lot of little tributaries run right down into the Saco River, which is right out there. So we figured this is a great spot for a little pond for our geese. So that is the plan. But I was out here just cleaning up the garden area, and I noticed a few things, and I wanted to show them to you. First of all, you guys know that I plant a lot from seeds. Heirloom organic seeds. Asparagus is something that I've been experimenting with, that I planted from seed out here, I think last year or 2 years ago. I think it was 2 years ago. So this is the second year of my little asparagus bed right here. Let's see if we can find a few stalks. Oh, here's one that somebody nibbled on. That's asparagus right there. Oh, you know what? I'm going to try that. Oh, delicious. Tasted just like asparagus. So I've got some right here. Some little baby asparagus. There's one right here. So this is what they look like after 2 years. Very, very tiny. Teeny tiny little asparagus. Oh my gosh, somebody came through here and ate them all last night. Only got a few left. Hold on. Got some right here. So that is my tiny little asparagus bed. Second year. They'll be much bigger next year, and I think I can start harvesting and eating them next year. So it doesn't look like much. I've just got some little solar lights around it, and clearly I need to put a little fence, some chicken wire around it, because I've got some critter out here nibbling away when I'm not paying attention. So that's one of my little perennial garden beds that comes up every year. And this is another one. This one is garlic. I got some garlic cloves from my neighbor, who got them from her brother who lives in Vermont, just like my brother lives in Vermont. And so she gave me some nice garlic cloves, and I planted them last fall after my garden season. This was a bed that I grew Swiss chard in last year. So after the Swiss chard came up, I just planted in my garlic. It sat over winter, and then it came up nice and healthy this spring. So that's what garlic looks like when it's growing in the garden. And again, I just put a little solar lights around it, and then a little string just to kind of deter my duckies and geese from getting in here, because I haven't fenced in the garden yet. So that's the plan. All these beds are going to get planted with nice fresh veggies. Haven't decided what's going to go where yet, but corn, cucumbers, tomatoes, squash, pretty much everything except potatoes I grow. The reason I don't grow potatoes is because I live in Maine, and potatoes are very, very inexpensive at the grocery store. Everybody grows potatoes in Maine, and up north in Maine are a lot of big potato farms. Good morning, bunny boys. Good morning. Got Applejack and Padre out today, enjoying some nice green grass. I moved their little bunny area just a little bit so they get some fresh grass today. There they are, side by side. Applejack has molted out most of his coat, so So he looks very skinny and little, and Padre is just a different type of Angora, so he does not molt in the same way, and that's why he's so fluffy. Let's see who else is awake this morning. Just some garden beds here that are getting ready. I put squash in this one last year, but this year I think I'm going to put something small and bush-like. Like I think I'm going to do husk cherries in this one this year. And then got a little garden bed around here. Last year I did fava beans. I don't know what I'll do in here this year. I might just let it go to weeds this year just to have a little protection for my chickens. Here's our chicken run. Good morning. Hi, Fluffy. Oh, Gil. Are you chasing that big rooster around? That Gil is putting Rhodey in his place. Rhodey is our Buff Orpington rooster on the left there. He's golden. He's a jerk. You know, I love animals and I love all my birds, and I've tried so hard with Rhodey, but he is a jerk. He attacks me like none of my other roosters do, and he's not very nice and nobody really likes him. When little kids come to the farm, he chases them. He's a mean rooster. So Rhodey is not long for this world. We're gonna have chicken stew one of these days. I keep on saying next time he attacks me is the day. I don't shy away when my chickens attack me. They don't usually attack me. I don't get attacked by a lot of birds. But when a bird does run at you and attack you, it's them trying to say that they're the big rooster and they're in charge. So the best thing you can do is stand your ground and say, nope, I'm the big chicken, I'm in charge. Yeah, he's like, if there wasn't a fence here, oh lady, I'd be coming at you. He acts all coy like this. Yeah, you get him, Gil, you tell him. Gil loves me, so Gil protects me. He acts all coy and then he sneaks up on me and he tries to, oh, now he's out. Oh, great. Now he's out and he's going to come at me. Let him back in, Gil. Go on, Rhodey, get back in there. Go on. Get back in there. Let's go. Good boy. So that's what's going on in our little rooster world today. Yep. Gil is keeping him on edge. Look at you, big boy Gil. Oh my goodness. All right. There's our little ram pen. Beautiful. Let's see what else is coming up. We've got some perennials coming up over here. These little purple leaves that are coming up. I have lots of little bunches of Korean hyssop. And this is what it looks like when it first starts coming up. Hyssop starts tiny. It's a beautiful, really thick perennial. And when it comes up, it's about 3 feet tall with these dark purple, thick flower spires. So I think that might be it for the hyssop, but there are quite a few little areas of hyssop coming up around here. Jackson, how did you get out? I flew. Jackson, my Americana rooster, such a handsome rooster. He has a relationship, we call it a bromitment. Didn't come up with that, of course, but he has a bromitment with Ramtini. Jackson and Rammy are friends. Half the time I look outside, Jackson is in Rammy's pen with him. It's kind of cute. Yeah, I'm talking about you. But today it was too tempting. He had to come out and he had to scavenge some of the old quail food from yesterday. So he's out here. My Americanas are kind of wild and they fly over the fence every day. So here's Jackson. One of his hens is back there. He's got his 2 pretty hens. And my little quail just had their breakfast. The quail, just like the bunny, it's springtime and they are molting. They're molting their feathers. So here is where they were this morning when I moved them, and this is all their little poops from yesterday, but also all of these little feathers because they are molting their feathers. And so their feathers are just coming right out. And they're going to grow new ones for the new year. It's a new spring, a new season. So these are all the feathers, and every time that I move them, there's just a little tuft of feathers from yesterday on the ground. And here are the quail, and you can see they're not naked, but they have little bald patches and things. Like, they just look a little funny, a little disheveled. But that's okay. We'll give them some fresh water today. Oh, hi, Fluffy. Yep, here's my boyfriend, Fluff. Oh, he's a handsome boy. Gosh. showing off today, huh? Last night was the first night, it was a nice warm night, so it was the first night that our little ram lambs, Nyama, Choma, and Rodrigo, spent the night in their little ram pen. Good morning, boys. How are we doing today? Gave them lots of treats. We've had some nice lettuce, some romaine lettuce today. And I brought them some nice dandelions and some nice green grass and fresh hay and the special good kind of hay, the Timothy hay. So these are the ram lambs. They're doing great. They did have a few little outbursts in the middle of the night, and I feel bad for the neighbors, but it was a Saturday night, so we planned it for the weekend. So if it was too loud, it's on the weekend, and it's not that bad. It's not like most people have to work today. So it's going to get better every night, but they are now big boys, and they are away from their mamas forever because they're big rams now, and if they're too close to their mamas, I worry that they're going to try to mate with their moms and their sisters, and we can't have that. We can't have babies from you boys and your mamas or your sisters. That's not going to happen. So we separated them at 2 months, and that's how old they are now, 2 months old. That's right. It happened. It's also an exciting time on the farm because the geese have decided that their goslings are big enough to go out in the front yard and to start their little goosey routine. So this morning when I came out, the geese were all lined up at the gate here with their goslings. And we opened the gate and they took their little babies out front. And I have some little waters out here for them. But we did this yesterday too, they spent the whole day out on the pasture enjoying the green grass. And then around 5 or 6 p.m. they came and lined up here at the gate for me to bring them back in. Well, I love this routine. I love when this begins. Those babies are about 2 weeks old today. No, 2 weeks old on Monday. 2 weeks old on Monday, so they're about a week and a half right now. Looking good, guys. What's good for the goose is good for the gander is good for the gaggle. There they go to spend their day. Let's go see where they're going. We've just got a little project out here. We're always working on projects. And so I cleaned up this little perennial bed. I have some teeny tiny little tufts of chamomile that are coming up. That's chamomile right there. And that's chamomile right there. So little tufts of chamomile coming up over here. And then in the corner here I have my hops that come up in this. I mean, it doesn't look great, but this is going to be covered in beautiful hops in just a couple of weeks. So let's see if we can see any of the hops coming up. Here they come. That is a hop vine. They start out from the ground like a little tiny vine. You can see a few more in there, beautiful and purple. And they're going to come twisting and twirling all the way up. All the way up, and they follow it all the way up to the very tippy top. And then we also train them across the fence here. So this whole fence is going to be covered in hops this summer. It's going to be really pretty. I use the hops in my kombucha. We used to brew beer, but now I don't drink beer anymore. Aaron still does, but now we just make kombucha with our hops. It's delicious. And we can also make little sachets with the hops when they dry. You can put it in your pillow and it helps you sleep at night. It's really relaxing. What are we working on over here? Aaron is just working on a project. This is an old smoker, an old grill and smoker that we got for free. It was a farm trade a few years ago, and he just did a primer coat, and then he's going to paint it a nice glossy dark forest green, and then we'll stain the shelves and the little handle. So I'll show you what that looks like when it's all done. See what else is growing over here, and then we'll go say good morning to the sheepies. I've got my rhubarb coming up. It's a Victoria rhubarb, and I have a lot of it, but it looks like only a few of them are coming up so far. And then some of my lemon balm. I love lemon balm, you guys, so I have it everywhere. There's some lemon balm here. Oh, Korean hyssop. There's some Korean hyssop right there. And then there's some more lemon balm coming up back there. I just love that. What are you geese doing in here? Look at them, they're in the sheep run. What are you girls doing? My little front garden here. I have a lot of perennials like chives. This is a perennial sunflower that comes up. These are coreopsis, just coming up. A little tiny dwarf coreopsis. It's pretty. It's yellow flowers, I believe. And then I have some Siberian orchids here that the sheep got to, but hopefully they'll come back. Or sorry, not Siberian orchids, Siberian lily. It's a daylily. And then I have my echinacea garden in the front there. And I only see 1 or 2 good tufts of echinacea coming up so far. So I might have to plant some more this year. That's a tuft of echinacea. And that's not. Is that it? Just the one? Yeah, I'm definitely going to have to plant some more this year. Could have been that it was a harsh winter, or it could have just been that maybe the sheep got it when it was first coming up. And I didn't protect it well enough. All right, speaking of the sheep, let's go say good morning. They are all out on some nice fresh pasture today. Good morning, girls. Hi. Enjoying our green pasture. Look at how lush that grass is. So now that the lambs are pretty comfortable out here in their electronet, we've moved it a little bit farther from the barn today. We're now starting to move back and around. So here's where the barn is. Oh my gosh, look at the geese, they're going in. We're going in. They're so nosy. They're gonna go explore in there. So the barn is right there, and the sheep come right out the front, out of their little run, and I shake my little grain bucket, and they followed me all the way over here today, and they did a great job. Everybody came in for the electronet, and now we're way out here. And I've been slowly moving them from close to the barn. They already munched the front. You can actually see the grass where they munched. Yep, that line there is where the sheep were. And that green grass is where the sheep haven't been yet. So you can see where they've been, and you can see that I've moved them around a little bit out here. And the grass is growing back. Oh, I bet it looks so funny from the sky. If you flew over us in a plane, it's all these funny little off-shaped circles from where my sheep munch down the grass. Because I put them out on the grass pasture, and I just leave them out here for one day, and then the next day I move it. So they do munch it down just a little bit, but they don't harm it, and they drop their little sheepy turds all day, which is just great fertilizer for the pasture. So they're not harming it, they're just making it better. Oh, they look so pretty out here. Good morning, Sal. Having some nice grass? Hi, girl. Good morning, little Patty Eileen. Good morning. I also need to start moving them back away from the road because they get so much publicity here on the road. People see them and they stop, which is wonderful. I love when people see my lambs and stop. But I have had a lot of people asking to buy lambs, more than I have to sell this year. So lesson learned, I need more sheep to sell next season. A lot of people buy lambs in the spring up here. I have had people just stop. Like yesterday, somebody just stopped and asked if they could buy these 2 lambs. And these 2 lambs are not for sale this year. I already made my decisions about who I'm going to keep for my breeding program. I can't sell all my ewes. I got to keep some so that I have breeding stock for next year. But it's so tempting when people just pull up and say they want to buy what you have. But they're not for sale. But they are precious. But I told him maybe next year, in the spring. Got his info. I think that is the 3rd or 4th person who's just stopped because they saw my lambs roaming, and they knock on my door and ask if I have any lambs for sale. You sweet little lambs. You sweet little lambs. Here we have little Chipita. Look at you, lovely girl. You're like a little Barbie doll. Good morning. Good morning. Aren't you pretty? Want to say hi? Want to say hi? Aw, little Chipita. Sal's baby girl, so lovely. Can't believe how big our little lambs are getting. So she's 2 months old. Patty Eileen was just born on St. Patrick's Day, so she is just a month and a week old. Not that old yet, but she's pretty big because she was such a big lamb. She's the same age as little Rainbow there, but she's quite bigger. Quite a bit bigger than you, Rainbow. Hi, Bowie. Good morning. I did offer to sell him Laverne and Shirley, but he wanted lambs. I said I have 2 ewes that will be for sale, but he wants little cute lambs like this. Of course he does. Who wouldn't? So I'm just going to have to grow more lambs for next year. Right, guys? Oh, what a gorgeous morning. I hope you guys are having a great day, a great weekend, getting outside and enjoying this really nice weather. They say it's going to rain today, but I don't think it's going to. It's just cloudy out. It's just cloudy, outy, outy, out. Right. Well, we love you. Have a great day, everyone. And thanks for watching.